The Canadian dream. More like a nightmare? Hey everyone, today we're diving into a topic that's hitting close to home for many of us. I'm making this video to shed light on the current real estate situation in Canada. We all know that owning a home is a huge part of the Canadian dream, right? It's something that many of us have aspired to for years. But lately, that dream has started to feel more like a distant fantasy for many Canadians. The rising costs and competitive market are making it nearly impossible for some. I've seen firsthand the struggles people are facing trying to enter the market. It's not just about finding the right house, it's about affording it. Young families are getting priced out of their communities, the places they grew up in, and hope to raise their own children. And even finding a decent rental is becoming a challenge. The rental market is just as competitive and expensive. It's tough out there, folks. The stress and uncertainty are taking a toll on many. The reality is that Canada is in the grips of a real estate frenzy, with prices soaring and demand outstripping supply. It's pushing home ownership out of reach for many. People are feeling the pressure and wondering if they'll ever be able to own a home. The question is, what can we do about it? How can we turn this nightmare back into a dream? Stay tuned as we explore potential solutions and hear from experts in the field. Sky-high prices. A post-pandemic reality check. Remember pre-pandemic life? Pepperidge Farm remembers, and so do our bank accounts. Since those simpler times, Canadian real estate prices have gone through the roof. We're talking record-breaking increases that have left many Canadians wondering if they'll ever be able to afford a place of their own. The numbers don't lie. In some markets, we've seen prices nearly double in just a few short years. This rapid increase has created a massive affordability crisis. And it's time we address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the overpriced bungalow in the cul-de-sac. The perfect storm. Why are houses so expensive? So, what's driving this unprecedented surge in prices? It's not just one factor, but rather a perfect storm of issues colliding to create the perfect real estate hurricane. Let's break down the main culprits. First, we've got the classic economic principle of supply and demand. Simply put, there are far more people who want to buy homes than there are homes available. This imbalance puts upward pressure on prices, and when demand consistently outstrips supply, things can get out of hand pretty quickly. Supply and demand. A classic case of too few houses. Let's dive deeper into this supply and demand issue. Canada, for all its vastness, has a chronic shortage of housing, especially in desirable urban centers. We're simply not building enough homes to keep pace with population growth, immigration, and the formation of new households. This lack of supply creates a bottleneck effect, driving up competition and prices. Adding fuel to the fire is the fact that many existing homeowners are hesitant to sell, fearing they won't find a suitable replacement in this frenzied market. It's a vicious cycle that needs to be addressed. Now, let's talk about interest rates. For years, Canada has enjoyed historically low interest rates, making it cheaper for people to borrow money. While this can be great for the economy, it also means that more people are eligible for mortgages, increasing demand and competition in the housing market. And let's not forget about real estate speculators. These are investors who buy properties with the sole intention of selling them for a profit, often in a short period. This speculative activity can artificially inflate prices and create a sense of urgency in the market, leading to even higher prices. Of course, we can't discuss the housing crisis without mentioning the role of government policies. While there have been attempts to cool down the market, some argue that these measures haven't been effective enough. From foreign buyer taxes to mortgage stress tests, The government has tried to curb demand, but the problem persists. Some experts believe that the government needs to focus more on increasing the supply of affordable housing options. This could involve incentivizing developers to build more purpose-built rentals, streamlining the approval process for new developments, and investing in social housing initiatives. Predicting the future of real estate is never an exact science, but most experts agree that the Canadian market is due for a correction. This doesn't necessarily mean a dramatic crash, but rather a period of stabilization or a slight dip in prices. However, the extent and timing of this correction are still uncertain. Factors like interest rate hikes, government policies, and overall economic conditions will all play a role in shaping the market's future. It's a waiting game, but one thing's for sure, we're in for an interesting ride. So, what does all this mean for those of you dreaming of owning a home? Don't despair. The journey to home ownership can be daunting, but with the right approach, it's entirely achievable. While the market is challenging, it's not impossible to find your perfect place. It might take some time and effort, but persistence pays off. Here are a few tips to help you navigate this tricky terrain. First, do your research. Knowledge is power. Understand your local market, research different neighborhoods, and keep an eye on market trends. Get pre-approved for a mortgage so you know your budget. This will give you a clear idea of what you can afford and make you a more attractive buyer. Second, be realistic. You may not be able to afford your dream home right away, and that's okay. Start with something within your budget and build equity over time. Consider alternative options like condos or townhouses. These can be more affordable and still offer great living spaces. Lastly, work with a professional. A good real estate agent can be your guide through this process, offering invaluable advice and support. They can help you find properties, negotiate offers, and navigate the paperwork. Their expertise can save you time and money. Remember, buying a home is a significant milestone. With the right preparation and support, you can make your dream of home ownership a reality. The Canadian real estate frenzy won't last forever, but it's time for a serious conversation about long-term solutions. The current market conditions have created a sense of urgency, but we must look beyond the immediate challenges and focus on sustainable strategies that will benefit future generations. We need a multifaceted approach that addresses both the supply and demand sides of the equation. This involves not only increasing the number of homes available, but also ensuring that these homes meet the needs of a diverse population. This means building more homes, plain and simple. However, it's not just about quantity. The quality and location of these homes are equally important. We need to focus on creating communities where people can live, work, and thrive. We need to encourage the development of affordable housing options, streamline the approval process, and invest in infrastructure to support growing communities. This includes everything from public transportation to schools and healthcare facilities. We also need to address demand-side factors like speculation and foreign investment. These elements can drive up prices and make it difficult for average Canadians to enter the housing market. This could involve exploring policies like capital gains, taxes on secondary properties, or stricter regulations on foreign buyers. By implementing these measures, we can help stabilize the market and make housing more accessible. Ultimately, creating a healthy and sustainable housing market requires collaboration between governments, developers, and individuals. Each stakeholder has a role to play in ensuring that our housing market remains robust and fair. By working together, we can ensure that the Canadian dream of homeownership remains within reach for generations to come. It's a collective effort that will shape the future of our communities and the well-being of our society. If you liked what we shared, don't forget to like, follow, and share.